What if the key to your financial freedom wasn't doing more, but doing less, radically, relentlessly, with total focus? There's a secret hidden in the margins of history's greatest achievements. A secret Napoleon Hill whispered between his words, but few truly grasped. One single thing, done with absolute intention, capable of transforming entire destinies. The curious thing is many ignore this because it seems too simple. But the simple, when done with discipline, when repeated with commitment, becomes sacred. It's like planting a single seed and never taking your eyes off it until it becomes a forest. Those who truly get rich are not in a hurry. But they don't live in procrastination either. They choose. And then they don't stop. They don't live testing paths. They find one and stick to it, even when the road seems deserted. Because they know it's in the silence of conviction that true prosperity begins to sprout. Throughout this video, you will discover what few have realized. Wealth is born from an unshakable decision, and the most powerful moment of your life could be now. Doubt is like a dense fog that envelops the mind and blocks the first step. It's subtle, but powerful. Our era teaches, the wait for security delays dreams. Many believe failure is the greatest enemy, but it's not. The true enemy is the void of omission, the invisible cost of never trying. Doubt whispers with the voice of logic, but steals with the hands of cowardice. Some have a brilliant idea, a flame burning in their heart, but they allow the fear of what if to extinguish that fire. The internal resistance says, "You're not ready yet," and so the days pile up like dead leaves in the yard of time. The world is full of unrealized dreams by people who waited for total clarity, when what they needed was one step. Just one movement, even a small one, changes everything. A doubting mind is already divided, and a divided mind never builds anything solid. Doubt without action becomes routine, and the routine of stagnation weighs heavy. The person doesn't realize they're stuck until time passes, and then comes regret, not for trying, but for waiting too long. Before we continue, like this video and share it with those who need to hear this truth. You'll understand why. There is a key moment that doesn't appear in books or speeches. It's when someone, tired of seeing themselves stuck, looks in the mirror of life and says, "Enough." This moment is silent, but it has the power to change everything. It isn't shouted. It doesn't need an audience. It's an internal choice, an inner hunger that finally refuses to accept less than it deserves. This kind of decision doesn't come from logic. It comes from pain. That pain that builds like trapped rain until it overflows. And in that overflow, strength is born. When someone says enough, they make room for the new. Breaking free from the comfort zone, breaking the cycle of procrastination. There is no real turning point without this rupture. And the most impressive part, it's enough doesn't have to be announced to the world. It only needs to be true inside. Whoever decides with their whole heart changes the rhythm, changes the path, changes their identity. And in this silent and firm change, the restart begins. And when that restart begins, something even deeper awakens. Indecision doesn't sound like a scream. It hides in phrases like, "I'll see later," or "It's not the right time." But its effect is corrosive. It steals willpower, extinguishes focus, and sabotages movement. Those who live in doubt live between two lives, neither begins. And this middle ground, which seems safe, is stagnation disguised. The indecisive mind tires more than the active mind. It calculates 1,000 paths, but steps on none. And in this invisible back and forth, days pass. What should be progress becomes waiting. And waiting without intention has an invisible cost. Time that doesn't return. Those who don't decide end up being decided by circumstances. Faith only manifests in decision. Faith is action in uncertainty. It's a step into the dark with the inner certainty there will be ground. Those who want to grow need to choose, even without guarantees, because clarity comes after. And silent victory is only possible when the soul stops wavering and plants its foot in one direction. Many get stuck because they want to see the end of the path before taking the first step. But life doesn't work that way. True vision doesn't come from analysis. It comes from daily action. Those who wait for guarantees before moving are trapped in an illusion. It's like wanting all the road lights to turn green at once, when, in reality, each step lights the next one. Intention without execution becomes a weight. And the curious thing is the first step is always the hardest, but also the most liberating. A small action done with total focus changes the inner game because the universe responds to movement. And in that movement, the pieces fall into place. What seemed confusing starts to make sense on the path, not before it. The single path doesn't reveal itself all at once. It's built with every firm choice, with every small execution. And it's in this living, organic construction that clarity blooms like the fruit of discipline. Don't wait for the perfect signal. It doesn't come, but what comes is the next step. And it's that step that begins to align something powerful. Curiosity may ignite the spark, but it's commitment that keeps the fire burning. The curious experiment, test and backtrack. The committed decide and move forward, even when the path seems hard. The difference between those who prosper and those who repeat cycles is in total surrender. Those who truly leap live with a kind of practical faith. They act before feeling ready. There is a silent urgency in the heart of those truly committed. They don't wait for the perfect day. They wake with intention, breathe purpose, and execute, even tired, even uncertain, because they understand that essential action done with consistency breaks the barrier of mediocrity. It's not about talent, it's about determination. The curious get distracted. The committed focus. While one jumps from goal to goal, the other digs deep until they find water. Because they know it's there, at the point where most give up, that the reward begins to appear. Success is not interested in observers, but in those who remain. A single drop of water seems insignificant alone, but repeated every day, it wears away stone. So are actions done with intention. What changes life isn't a grand event, it's conscious consistency. A simple habit repeated with focus and aligned with a purpose has more power than dramatic decisions without continuity. Those who underestimate the small gesture miss out on great fruits. The person who wakes up 30 minutes earlier, who reads 1 page a day, who chooses silence over impulsive venting, is shaping their destiny. Because they understand that frequency, not force, builds. It's not about doing much, it's about doing the essential with direction. Each small action is a vote of faith in what one wants to build, even if no one sees it, even if it seems little. It's this obedience to the process that transforms. Those faithful in the small prepare for the big, and in this journey, the secret isn't speed, it's not stopping. Comparison is a subtle thief. It slips in slowly and steals clarity, identity, and confidence in one's own path. While watching others, you lose your step. The person starts questioning their own mission, not because it's invalid, but because they saw someone going a different way. And so, focus dissolves. True strength is looking inward and asking, what is my next step? Not the best, not the fastest, but mine. Because the ground of comparison is always slippery. Everyone has their own frequency, their own right time to bloom. And when someone aligns with their inner truth, they find a kind of freedom that doesn't depend on others' approval. Vision strengthens when attention is in the right direction. Looking sideways may seem natural, but looking back prevents progress. You must decide. Keep your eyes on the target or stumble trying to understand someone else's step, Because in the end, what matters is not speed, but daily execution done with total focus. It doesn't shout, it whispers. That soft voice that says, you can start tomorrow. Today is too heavy. This isn't for you. Internal resistance isn't a monster outside. It's doubt well-dressed inside you. And the more you talk with it, the stronger it gets. The secret: stop negotiating, act without bargaining. This resistance is an expert at creating convincing excuses. But every time you obey it, a piece of your mission is delayed. Resistance knows where to hit. Your comfort zone, your unresolved story, your belief that you're not capable. But when you move, even with fear, even with uncertainty, it weakens. It loses power in front of essential action. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs people who do, despite excuses. Because when you act, you create a new frequency inside yourself. And that new frequency generates a new identity. Winning over resistance is winning over yourself. And that is perhaps the noblest battle anyone can fight. There are no fireworks, no applause. True turnaround begins where no one sees it, inside a soul tired of surviving. Real change doesn't shout. It breathes deeply, looks inward, and decides. It's in the silence of conviction that destiny realigns. A firm choice made in anonymity has more power than 1,000 public promises. The person feels something, changing, but has no words. It's like a flame slowly igniting, fueled by a burning desire for more meaning, more truth, more life. No announcements, no witnesses. But it is there, in the hidden corner of being, that the restart is born. And all true transformation begins like this, quiet but unshakable. Those who have gone through it know. One day, seemingly ordinary, something changes inside. And quietly, without drama, the person rises different. Not because the world changed, but because they changed. Now, this kind of change doesn't need to be announced, because sooner or later, it will be seen. In routine, posture, consistency, and in the essential action now repeated with new strength. There comes a time when it's no longer about trying, nor about testing. It's about choosing and following through without looking back. The turnaround happens when someone stops asking if they're ready and starts acting like there is no other option. This isn't stubbornness, it's total focus. It's commitment to the truth burning in the heart. It's easy to start. The hard part is continuing when the emotion fades, when the applause stops, when everything depends on your discipline. But that's exactly where the ordinary stop. And the determined keep going. When you say yes to one thing and no to everything else, you open the way to prosperity. Because now your energy is concentrated, your mind is dominant, your frequency is pure. This choice, when made with intention, redefines who you are. It no longer matters how much time has passed, nor what went wrong before. What matters is that now you have decided. And those who truly decide feel their inner world align. There is no room to turn back. There is only one single path. It is on this path that the harvest happens. Making a true decision doesn't complicate, it simplifies. Suddenly, what was doubt becomes direction. What was excess becomes clarity. Life becomes lighter because the energy once spent on possibilities begins to be channeled into execution. Deciding is like clearing the ground. You remove debris and see where you can plant. Those who live indecisively carry more weight than those in motion. Indecision requires maintenance. Thoughts that come and go, doubts that repeat, procrastination, disguised as analysis. But when you decide with your whole heart, time works in your favor. The world responds with new doors. Because now you are on the frequency of essential action. Deciding is a kind of freedom, not because everything is resolved, but because there is now a firm commitment to what matters. And where there is focus, there is growth. Chaos steps aside. When you know exactly what you're cultivating, and when the right seed is watered every day, the harvest becomes inevitable. At first, discipline feels like a prison. Schedules, limits, hard choices. But soon, it reveals its true face, that of freedom. Because when you are guided by a solid routine, you're no longer a slave to emotions, laziness, distractions. You are in control. And that gives you power. The power to not stop in front of what matters. Many reject discipline, thinking it takes away life's lightness. But what actually removes lightness is chaos. Life without direction, full of loose desires and impulses. Discipline organizes, structures, protects. It is the path that leads you to financial freedom, health, and prosperity. And all of this begins with a simple choice repeated many times. Over time, discipline becomes a habit, and habit becomes part of who you are. It's no longer effort. It's an expression of your new identity. When that happens, what once was heavy becomes light. What once was sacrifice becomes pleasure. Because now you live with intention, and those who live this way live free. You don't change who you are just by thinking differently. Real change happens when you start acting differently day after day. Your routine is the invisible mold that shapes your identity. Every daily choice, every action repeated with conscious consistency is building the version of who you are. Becoming. It's no use having a beautiful speech if your daily actions contradict it. It's in the routine's trenches, in the unseen details, that your new life begins. Waking earlier, turning off your phone, saying no to what's not part of your mission, all these, repeated with purpose, transform. Because power lies in the simple, the essential. Those who want to be someone different need to live as that person would live. And that starts today, not when everything is perfect. Discipline, focus, essential action. Shape not only results, they shape who you are. And when your routine changes, your whole life begins to align with your highest vision. There are few who dare to step out of the crowd and follow the less traveled path. These few have an inner hunger that is not extinguished by distractions or excuses. They do what is necessary, even when no one is watching, even when the comfort zone calls them to stay still. This is the essence of silent victory. The world rewards those who have commitment and conscious consistency. It's not luck, not talent. It's the sum of small actions done with purpose over time. While most live on the surface, these few dive deep, overcome internal resistance, face doubt, and stay firm on the single path. Living what few live is not a privilege, it's a consequence. A consequence of a decision, the decision not to stop, to keep the flame burning, to act with faith and discipline, even when the result still seems distant. And this solitary and challenging journey is the true definition of freedom. Nothing starts perfectly. Everything begins with a choice, a step taken with courage, even if the path is dark. What separates those who win from those who wait is the simple yet powerful act of starting. Today can be that day, the day of restart, of turnaround, of leaving the comfort zone. The secret isn't waiting for the perfect scenario, but creating movement, acting now with intention and total focus. When you decide not to stop, even if slowly, growth becomes inevitable. Life responds to that inner flame that refuses to go out, that firm will that refuses to wait. And most importantly, true transformation happens inside. Changing what you think is the first step, but changing what you do every day is what shapes the new identity. If this is your key moment, don't hesitate. Start today, because deep down, the only thing that matters is to do. Now, transforming your reality begins when you live and feel deeply. It's not about waiting for perfect conditions, but about embracing the moment with all your strength. Every choice, every step taken with total focus and commitment is an act of courage that changes everything inside and out. Your life can be the reflection of your determination. If this video spoke to you, like, share, and subscribe. The world needs awakened people with inner hunger and a will to grow. Comment below, "I decide to transform my life." This simple phrase is the start of a powerful movement, the movement of your silent victory. Remember, the change you seek is already inside you. All that's missing is the decision, the commitment, and the action. Don't wait any longer. Now is the moment to be your best self. Go forward. You can.